Good morning from Michael Scanlon, and here at the Cork Summer Showgrounds in Ballintemple, with just over a half an hour to go to the 27th Macra Efficiency Finals. It's welcome to what we hope is going to, over the next 4 or 5 hours, provide a most entertaining spectacle as 5 teams from throughout the length and breadth of Cork County battle for the honours of £1,000 sponsored by Allied Irish Banks. Last October, 70 teams drawn from the 5 regions of Macra entered this competition. Today we are down to the last 5. Representing Avondhu will be Mourne Abbey, who are in the final for the 4th time. From Shandoon we have Grenagh, who are making their very first appearance in the final. Down in East Cork it's Ladies Bridge, who are back at the showgrounds for the 3rd time in the 80s, and their 2nd time. They were also there last year. From West Cork we have Clondrohid, who are making their 8th appearance in the final and hoping to win it for the very 2nd time. And from Cookery we have Clondrohid, who are back at the showgrounds for the 1st time since 1966, hoping also to capture the title for the very 1st time. Here we are inside Ring 1, where the Allied Irish Banks sponsored Macra County Efficiency Final is just about to start. The first team into action will be the Clondrohid team, their method and management team of Liam O'Riordan, Larry Creed and Dermot Healy, and we will shortly be seeing them in action, and the voice you will be hearing from time to time is that of the Macra commentator Peter Murphy. Joining me here in Ring 1, just with minutes to go before the start of the efficiency, is the current president of Clondrohid Macra, Murt Buckley, who also has a link with the last Clondrohid team to come to Cork show. That was in 1966. Murt, what's your feeling about Clondrohid's chances today?
Well, of course, I rate their chances very highly. We have very good members at the present time, and I believe they have put in an awful lot of work. I'm not that active at the moment, naturally, of course, but I gather that they have a reasonable chance. I suppose their greatest drawback is quite a few members haven't even seen this competition, never mind competed. But apart from that, I would be hopeful.
What can you remember about what happened back in 1966 when Clondrohid were actually placed 3rd on the day?
Well, it's quite a bit ago, obviously, but there was great enthusiasm at the time, you know, for efficiency. It wasn't running that long, and people put in a great effort, all right. I don't know how really hard other teams work now at the moment, but I have a feeling they're not working any bit harder anyway. There was an awful effort put in at that time. I remember one particular competition, this balancing a tractor on a loader into a truck. You know, there were hours put into it, and we had a very efficient chap who was able to do it. But it just shows you on the day, it failed anyway, it just didn't come off, you know. So on the day you never know what's going to happen. But I'm sure now these boys here in the ring will account for themselves fairly well today.
So the message, Murt, is that it's trills and spills for the rest of the day as we now go to the method and management, which is just about to start.
Go, chatting here with Richard Henson, a man we've been chatting with throughout the week, in fact, because he has been very much on duty with a lot of other Macra people. Anyhow, the Clondrohid team just getting underway here and now. We're not the official timekeepers here in the commentary box, but we'll give you a fair idea of how time is passing as the team goes into action down there. They have a lot of work to do. Now just getting underway here.
Now here we see Dermot Healy picking up the first of the round bales, and his task will be to stack them in a pyramid.
As always, of course, we don't expect a huge crowd around the ring at this early hour. It's only 10 past 11 or so, and I think at every show in the country, it's important announcement from the point of view of the show committee that the show itself will be going on until 8 o'clock.
Here we have Larry Creed and Liam O'Riordan attaching the push-off buck brake to the tractor, and in a few moments Larry will be picking up one of the bales which you saw Dermot putting onto the ground a few moments earlier. He will be putting one of those into the calf trap, which we will be seeing in just a few seconds. Liam O'Riordan doing his first task of the day, which is to drive this tractor and roller through the course and reverse back through the same course. Of course, the essential thing here in this method of management today is the care and the safety factor in which each of the competitors now Liam has successfully driven through the course. Now comes the hard task of actually reversing back to the same course. He has successfully negotiated the first gap.
Some new types of competitions.
Now Liam is in the home straight, having successfully negotiated the course, just coming up now to the last section of the right, and he's through the last section and out at this end, so that task is completed, much to, I'm sure, Liam's delight, and I would say that he has got maximum marks from that effort. Now we're back again with Dermot Healy as he just completes the pyramid and
to an obstacle course. Just driving through that obstacle course there, there's the stakes over here on our right, and indeed this is probably the oldest competition of all in Macra, driving and reversing.
And Dermot is having all kinds of problems at the moment as the pyramid topples over.
Year of this competition is one of the main attractions, and this is Liam O'Riordan, who has been in touch with that job this year. And that's Dermot Healy placing the bales to take it in the original position. We become more familiar with exactly what each competitor has to do as time goes on.
Now here we have Dermot Healy picking up the last of the round bales, which he has very successfully, this task he has very successfully done so far, picking up the last bale and placing it back on the trailer.
Was the display when competitors.
Right, here we have Dermot Healy removing the loader from the tractor after completing his task of stacking the bales, being assisted by Larry Creed. Larry, who is aged 25, comes from a well-known family of 8 in Clondrohid and is a local farmer. Dermot, who is aged 20, comes from a family of 4 boys and 1 girl, and is a trainee mechanic in Macra. We see Liam O'Riordan having attached the plough to the tractor, moving off up to the top end of the arena, where he will have to set the plough in its correct working position. Liam, who's aged 22, comes from a family of 2 boys and is a farmer in Clondrohid. Dermot Healy backing up to the New Holland silage harvester, which he will shortly attach to it. We have Dermot and Larry working furiously on attaching the tractor to the silage harvester, which they will in a few moments be attaching to the silage trailer and driving through a given course.
And all within a competition and machine, somebody that the tractor is going to be human after all, which is not quite right, but anyhow, things happen. The truck.
Right, Dermot Healy's second part of this task is to reverse the New Holland harvester back towards the silage trailer and pick it up, and then drive through a set course and reverse back through the same course. Clondrohid, who are the first team on here today, are well up on time. They have about 6 or 7 minutes to go, and obviously it's essential that the first team on the day puts pressure on the 5 or the 4 following teams, so that they will have difficulty in keeping up with the hot pace which is being set here by Clondrohid this morning.
Ready, Martin Jones to the Macra caravan, and they are Judy Healy. 2.5 minutes to go, lads, Clondrohid, 2.5 minutes to go. Yeah. Yeah, you have a long way to go there, lads.
Fairly quickly.
Now here we have Dermot Healy reversing the silage trailer and silage harvester through the course. Very difficult task. Because one wrong move with the tractor and the whole thing can be around in a semicircle. But so far Dermot is doing quite well, as he has got through 2 of the obstacles, and he is now coming up to the last section of this difficult task.
You have only a few seconds to go now, and coming up to time shortly, lads, there at the Alec Teskin, an old friend of ours there, has been judging competitions like this for a number of years.
So Dermot successfully completes that course. Will now reverse the trailer back into its original position and unattach it from the harvester.
In front of us here, watching the other competitor there too, but it's almost Tim, is it? Tim Hurley says that's it, ladies and gentlemen. That's it. The three judges, no matter. I'm wondering if they have allowed extra time, maybe for some reason or other. There might be a problem, as happened before, with some part of the machinery, but on Tim's stopwatch anyway, it's gone past the 30-minute mark, and that's all we can say.
Talking there to the three judges, Eric Heskin and Dermot O'Leary and Tom, and I think Tom is the son of Big Jack, and so we sort of know all three very well indeed. And sometimes because maybe 40 minutes might be about 13, and that dragged down a little bit longer than usual. But with one team already finished, I think there's no desperate need for due haste. But ladies which are on next, and the three lads whose names that was mentioned there can be gearing up for the suit. And I'm sure that we're at the ringside here watching every move made by the trio from Clondrohid, because as I said, you'll learn as you watch in this competition. During charge, just having a chat with them around about 11:05, and that means that the competitors have until 1:05 to finish. Dan Murray from the
Right, we're back with the method and management, and here we see the competitors from the East Cork Club Ladies Bridge, who are today back at the efficiency finals for the third time. Here we have their two method and management members, Tom Melrick and Michael Bozang, attempting to attach the loader to the tractor, working as a team effort. Michael Bozang, the man here on the near side, now getting up onto the tractor to assist Tom Melrick. Machinery this hour of the morning is usually stiff, and it takes at least 2 or 3 efforts to get each hose into its correct position. Right, here we have Michael Bozang attempting to take the first bale off the trailer with a grab, and his task then will be to stack 5 of them in a pyramid formation on the ground. So he grabs into the first bale, lifts it off gently, and reverses back, so he's away. And
Pat has been a member of Macra for 5 years too. successful in the county serial project on a couple of occasions.
As we said earlier, skill and
Regional honours in
safety
the
are the two main
and in
factors
the
today.
sausage. Pat plays hurling with the local Father O'Neill
With the first team, Clondrohid, setting the pace for Ladies Bridge.
And Tillage. So that's a very quick and brief rundown of the three lads competing at the moment for Ladies Bridge.
Of course, all these competitors have spent many weeks preparing for this competition. As we continue with the method of management, it's Pat Melrick and Michael Bozang just attaching the New Holland harvester to the tractor, just completing that now. And Pat Melrick's task will be to attach the harvester and tractor to the trailer, which is here in front of us. And it's Pat Melrick reversing in towards the trailer, being assisted by Michael Bozang, who's the club secretary in Ladies Bridge. Of course, coordination between the two club members is absolutely vital, so that the minimum time is spent in all of these various tasks, because with just 30 minutes to do them, you can find yourself running out of time rather rapidly. Now, as we take a break from method and management, we've come along to another of the Macra competitions, the miniature garden, and here we have the 5 competitors who have been for the last hour and a half designing a miniature garden, or at least their version of a miniature garden, in an area 4 feet by 3 feet. And just here in front of us we have the Clondrohid competitor Dan Murphy, who, as we can see, has done quite an elaborate design already, with just another 50 minutes to go in the competition. Next competitor is Pauline McCarthy from Ladies Bridge, who has created an unusual design in the sense that she has a house right in the middle of the garden, completely different from that of Dan Murphy. We have the more navy competitor James O'Callaghan, who, as we can see, has created yet another design for a miniature garden with a lake right in the centre of the garden, and shrubs and flowers right around by the edges. Quite an elaborate design. Here we have the Grenada competitor Dennis O'Brien, who has most unusual and indeed, if I may say so, very elaborate garden with a tennis court and a house. And obviously this man has quite a lot of preparation put into this, with, as I said, 50 minutes still to go in the competition. We will be back a little later on to see what his end product turns out to be, but so far he certainly is a man who is artistic in nature. So finally we have the Clonakilty competitor Finbar O'Brien, who, as you can see, is taking great care of his plants at the moment, getting each and every one of them into the exact space. Each of these competitors, of course, has submitted a design already to the judges of the type of garden that they will hopefully end up with in about 1 hour's time. Here we are back with the method of management, and still with Ladies Bridge, as Michael Bozang, having made the pyramid with the bales, now attempts to replace the bales on the trailer. And of course the essential thing is that the pyramid does not topple over at any stage. Now we've moved indoors to the tent where the art competition has been in progress for just over an hour. Now each one of the competitors was given a choice of drawing a scene based on one of the following. First of all, my parents kept me from children who were rough. The second one was Another September, and the third one was The Dawning of the Day. So let's go and see what each of the competitors has been doing. Here we have the Clonakilty competitor Carmel Murphy with her version of Another September, and certainly from what we see so far, Carmel is the most artistic girl, and I will just be eagerly looking forward to seeing what the end result will be, which will shortly be announced. We have another artistic young lady, Margaret Welch from the Grenada Club, who is giving us her idea of The Dawning of the Day. and certainly I would like to be around if that was the scene on the dawning of most of these cloudy days in June of 1987. Here we have another subject, which is My Parents Kept Me from Children Who Were Rough, by the Morden Abbey competitor Noreen Nagel, and obviously looking at what she has already come up with, the children in Morden Abbey must be rather rough. The East Cork competitor Noreen Gumbleton from Ladies Bridge is giving us her idea of another September. Finally, in the art competition for 1987, we have the Clondrohid competitor Sean Kenny, who again is giving us his interpretation of the theme My Parents Kept Me from Children Who Were Rough, and certainly making quite a good hand of it so far.
We've just got to finish it out. All three competitors still. Okay, Michael, no problem. Competitors still in action there for Ladies Bridge, but by God, lads, I'm afraid only a few seconds to go now. To most performers anyway. The center of the arena, there were 20 rounds of difficult for the people outside the ring, who quickly one Martin, Queen of Morden Abbey, Willie Joe Regan of Granada, and Jerry Duggan of Stonakilty, and Judge Pat Connolly. That's the carpentry test. Always the carpentry test here as long as I can remember. That's going back to the two teams gone in the method of management. Next team coming on board Nabby, and we are having a look at the machines, as we mentioned here, not for the first year by any means. The team that comes on last, but towards the end of the day, has that little advantage, because you learn standing at the ringside and watching the other teams practice. And also, Sheila Welch from Bourne Nabby as well. Sheila Welch from Bourne Nabby. I think the ring from the two judges, lead with Dean Creek and here lead from Carrigaline.
Now here we join the method of management again with the Morden Abbey team, the Avondhu champions, just after starting their series of tasks, and we have Phil O'Shea here on our right, and Gerard Breen trying to attach the loader and push off bucket to the tractor. And over at the far end of the ground is again another of the Morden Abbey competitors, John O'Callaghan, the club chairman, just after successfully attaching the silage cutter to the tractor, and of course his next task now will be to attach it to the trailer and reverse through the course.
Everybody knows where Morden Abbey is, out there on the Mallow Road, and a very fine club. We've had the pleasure of visiting that club many years ago and working with some profit members of it, and it's good to see them back in action again here in this year's final. Now the miniature garden company.
Now we're watching Gerard Breen attempting to remove the first bale from the trailer in an effort to build a pyramid of 5 bales, a task which has been quite difficult this morning, in the sense that one of the clubs, Clondrohid, the bales did fall at the very end of the attempt at stacking them, So Gerard Breen trying to grab the first bale.
And his job is to
Successfully lifts it up and backs away from the trailer.
calibrate. Chairman O'Leary is the judge in charge.
Meanwhile, we're back with John O'Callaghan from Mourneabbey attempting to back the silage harvester and trailer through the course. He has successfully negotiated the first two stages, having a little difficulty as he comes up towards the end of the course. Has to straighten out and now makes a second attempt at it.
Now, of course, we can't do without sponsors, and indeed people like John Daly that I was interviewing here earlier this week said that without sponsors, what would we do at all at the Cork show? And the same goes for the Macra competitions, particularly in Dennis.
So John has successfully completed this task and will now put the tractor, trailer and harvester back into its original position.
Here in Cork. Thank you very much, Jim, on behalf of the committee. And at Irish Banks, of course, have been sponsoring throughout the week, and once again AIB are sponsoring.
I see John O'Callaghan down there in the bottom left-hand corner. He's edging up to the...
Here we see the Mourneabbey competitor Gerard Breen having just lifted the last of the round bales, is now about to place it on top of his pyramid of 6 bales, which he has done with extreme efficiency.
The competitors are required to make a miniature garden around about 4 feet by 3 feet, and they started at 11, and they got 2 hours, so at a little after 1:05, the long whistle was gone on that one. And judges Bernard Brennan and Pat Lenihan are examining the size gardens now, and will be coming up with a decision in due course. They'll now replace it in its original position. Not as easy.
Now Gerard Breen is about to remove the top bale from the pyramid, a task which is very, very difficult. As you can see, the disaster could occur there any minute.
At the last moment, the bales topple over or fall off the front end loader or whatever.
So he'll have to have a second go. I think you'll see action here any minute now as those bales topple over.
There you are. That's what can happen, ladies and gentlemen. I'm sorry.
That is, in fact, a good illustration of the difficulty and the intense pressure that the competitors are under when things go wrong. Time can slip away rather easily, and with just 30 minutes to do the 6 tasks, clubs can be under extreme pressure.
Well, this is Mourneabbey competing here, ladies and gentlemen. Sorry for... Here's that Mourneabbey are doing pretty well, time-wise anyway, and otherwise too, although it was a good deal.
Right, back here on ring one, as we take a break from the method and management. The next competition which we will see is a new one from Macra and Ferma. It's dog care and control. One competitor from each of the 5 clubs will have to do a number of practical tasks with the dog, involving walking the dog, leading him properly, making the dog sit, making the dog stay in a permanent position, asking the dog to come to you, and finally the general grooming and how well the dog looks will also be taken into consideration. After that, each of the competitors will be given a short questionnaire on dog legislation and control. Now, the 5 people representing their various clubs are: from Clonakilty we have Sheila Lane, from Morenevy we have Mary Bradford, and from Ladies Bridge we have John Dunn, from Clondrohid Martin Lucy, and from Grenagh Teddy Buckley. Now, here we see the 5 competitors in the dog care competition. Starting from left is Martin Lucy from Clondrohid. Next to him is John Dunn from Ladies Bridge. Next to John is Mary Bradford from Morenevy. Next to Mary is Teddy Buckley from Grenagh. And finally, on our extreme right is Sheila Lane from Clonakilty. So we're going to see some action in a moment with the various dogs.
Girl missing, if I may use that expression, had not was reported.
Here we see the Clondrohid competitor Martin Lucy doing his task with the dog, getting the dog to walk.
Right now.
I was asking the dog to sit. Obviously this is a nerve-wracking time for a competitor as well as dog, because many of these dogs would not have been inside in such an arena before. So Martin completes his number of tasks with the dog and obviously has done quite well. Right, the next competitor we see is John Dunn from Ladies Bridge, and again John is going through his routine of tasks with the dog. The tasks again which involve getting the dog to walk properly, making the dog sit in a still position, asking the dog to come towards you, and certainly from what we've seen so far, quite a lot of effort has gone into preparing these dogs. And as I said earlier, many of the dogs, or all of them perhaps, have not been in such an arena before where large crowds are in attendance.
That's his own dog, Michael. That's his own dog. Yeah. What's another fella there? What breed? You're doing it.
The next girl, the next competitor is the Morenevy girl, Mary Bradford, who incidentally is a sister of the new senator, Paul Bradford. Mary looking very elegant and obviously has put a lot of effort into getting her dog to do the various tasks in a professional and elegant manner. Next up in this competition is Teddy Buckley representing the Shandoon champions Grinna. Again, speaking to Teddy a little bit earlier on, he was telling me that he has spent the last 3 weeks working continuously with this dog. Because I think the main thing that can be said about all of these dogs today is that any of them would never have been in a similar type competition before. So that it's quite a feat for the various competitors to come along and to basically train a green dog, if I may use the expression, and have them looking so well and doing such marvellous or obeying such marvellous commands here today. Our final competitor in the dog care competition is the Clonakilty representative Sheila Lane, who incidentally is the public relations officer for the Clonakilty branch. And talking to Sheila just a few moments before the competition, she also has spent the last fortnight working continuously with the dog, and she told me that the dog had never been in such a competition before, and she was in fact rather nervous of what way the dog would react to the scene here at the showgrounds today. But certainly looking at her performance so far, the amount of work that she has put into preparing for the competition is obviously paying off, because the dog is responding to her various commands. I think the manner in which each dog and competitor has presented themselves over the past few minutes illustrates the amount of effort that in fact each team has put into this 27th efficiency final, and in fact will which will be proved later on in the evening by the, I'm sure, the closeness of the final results. Right, we've moved indoors again now to the art competition, where the final displays are here on the table in front of us. Beside me here is the ladies bridge competitor Finola Gumbleton, who has done a display on the theme Another September. Fiona, first of all, may I compliment you on the end product. Tell me, how long have you been preparing for this competition?
Well, I started last week, and when I got the poem from Kate, I went and got it in the Leaving Cert book, and I read up on it, and then I decided on the picture during the week.
And have you had any previous experience of doing art competitions?
Well, not really, but I did it at school, all right. I did it for my Leaving Cert, and that's about it, really.
Thank you very much, Finola. Now, joining me here at the art competition as well is Carmel Murphy, the Clonakilty competitor, who also has taken the theme Another September for her art display. Carmel, how long were you preparing for the competition?
I suppose it's about 3 or 4 weeks. 4 weeks, I suppose. Yeah, 4 or 5.
Have you had any previous experience of doing art competitions?
I did art during for school, you know, up to my Leaving Cert, and I sat the Leaving Cert paper, but I haven't done anything like that before in art.
And in your opinion, what makes a good artist, or what characteristics would a good artist need to come up with the type of fantastic display that you have here in front of us?
Oh Lord, I don't know. I suppose you have to have a kind of a keen eye for different things, you know. I really wouldn't honestly know what to say.
But anyway, we wish you the best of luck in the competition results, which will be announced in just a few moments.
Okay, thanks.
At the art competition is the Shandoon representative from Grenagh, Margaret Welsh. Margaret, you've taken the theme, The Dawning of the Day, as your display. Perhaps you would just tell me what we see here in front of us.
It's a dream the man in front is having about the lady in the right hand side of the page. It's mainly about a river and the dawn coming up behind the trees and some cows. It's based on Killarney.
And surely to come up with an elaborate display like this, you must be a very, very experienced artist.
No, I have done art in my leaving cert, but I haven't done art after that at all.
Well, we wish you the best of luck in the final, which the results of which will be announced in a few seconds. Now here with me I have from Morton Abbey, Noreen Nagel, who has taken the theme of "My parents kept me away from children who were rough." Noreen, why did you pick this theme?
I suppose basically because I know children kind of when I'm teaching, and come across every kind of child I suppose really, and I just wanted to prove that they weren't really all that rough, and I just picked a nice looking little child and just put him in the front there.
And what experience have you had in art competitions before?
My second, I suppose, competition really, I haven't done anything major.
Right. And are you confident that your final display will be the winner?
No.
I wish you the best of luck. The final competitor in the art competition was the Clondrohid representative Sean Kenny, who also took the theme "My parents kept me away from children who were rough." Sean, let's have a look at what you produced, and perhaps you could just give me some idea of what you did.
Well, for the rough children I used itineraries. And a boy looking in, he was kept inside all the time, and he was inside in his room locked up and the lads are just looking in at him like, oh, and they're having a good time.
And what experience have you had in art before?
Well, I did it for the Inter, and that was it.
Right. And you're obviously confident that your display will come good on the day?
I don't know.
We wish you the best of luck anyway.
O'Leary, go to the jumping enclosure. Dennis O'Leary to the jumping enclosure, please. And with the owner of car registration 900.
Here again with the method of management competition, with the fourth team involved now. That's the team from Grenada. We've had on today with the Scanlon team. With 1 minute to spare there just before the luncheon break, Alex Lefkin, Tom Ryan and Dermot O'Leary, in fact 3 members, 3 very well known people in the farming business. We know the Lefkin family have worked for many years. As I said, we met Jim and Jack Ryle during the week here. We had the pleasure on the public address of announcing that Jim Ryle had won the prize for having the best Saturday, the best theory, and one of the best known families in the county. So we know all 3 judges and there's these 3 generations very well indeed. Alex Lefkin, Tom Ryle and Dermot O'Leary, the 3 judges in this year's method in management competition. But this is the 4th team to compete now. I doubt that starting it with Matt Garfield, who has perhaps even more experience than I have here at this competition. So, and a good idea because the rain may come. Certainly showers are forecast for the afternoon, and the method of management can be a very messy competition, if not an impossible one, if the rain starts to come. And we hope all going well that we will have the method.
You see the Grenada competitor Matt O'Donovan attempting to make a pyramid with the round bales. He has successfully offloaded 2 of them and put them in position. Grenada, of course, who are the Shandoon representatives here today, having
Even the competitor involved in somewhat of a disaster situation.
here we see the Grenada competitor John Welch finalising the attaching of the silage harvester to the tractor. Now he's just getting it into position to straighten it out, and then of course he will pull it out and reverse it into the silage trailer and drive to and reverse to the course in the centre of the arena.
Like a bigger show in the country before a big crowd and perform in public. You mightn't do as well as you thought you were when you're performing in the peace and quiet of your own song.
John Welsh now. Now here we see Matt O'Donovan, the Grenada competitor, attempting to put the round bale on top of the calf trap, a task which is not quite as easy as one would think, because of course these round bales can tip over and out onto the ground if one isn't very, very careful. But he obviously, through the weeks of practice he has put into it, does it very, very successfully. Now, as you can see, there's a very, very large crowd here watching the various Macra competitions today. Let's have a word with some of them. I see a man from Kilmurray here, Michael McCarthy. Michael, what's your impression of the competitions today?
Well, the standard seems to be fairly good actually, only ground conditions seem to be that slightly bit against them.
And who would you be thinking, or who would you like to see winning today?
Well, I suppose our own club from Clondrohid.
Thank you, Michael. Another gentleman here taking a keen interest in the method of management. Who's your favourite?
Clondrohid.
And were you watching them this morning?
Yes.
And do you think that they're higher, the standard that they set is higher than the rest of them today?
Yeah, they're doing very well so far.
And what do you think of the Macra na Feirme competitions in general today?
Very good all round. Very good all round. Very good. Fine day.
A lady here taking a keen interest in the Macra competitions as well. Who are you supporting today?
Grenagh.
And obviously you're taking a keen interest on the lads from Grenagh who are out there at the moment in the method of management arena. What do you think of the Macra na Feirme competitions as a whole today?
They're excellent, the youngsters.
And obviously you would certainly be in favour of an organisation like Macra.
Certainly.
Thank you. Gentleman taking a keen interest in the Macra na Feirme efficiency competitions. Who are you supporting today?
Morning, Abby.
And what do you think of the standards that have been set today, particularly by Moore Abbey, who were the second club on this morning?
Oh, very good. I'm delighted with them, as my son was competing in it.
What's your son's name?
Gerald Breen.
Right, and did you know if they did a lot of practice for the efficiency competition?
Not that much, because they hadn't much time. They were at silage and to the busy time of the year.
Do you think that in fact if the competitions were perhaps held later in the year that young people would have more time to prepare for them?
I think that would, yes, certainly.
What do you think of Cork Show in general? Is this your first day here at the show?
Well, it's my first day, yes. I'm delighted with it, actually.
And how would it compare, we'll say, with past shows that you've been at?
Well, I think, this day is beautiful now, because yesterday was not very good, but this is a great day,
I hope you enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank you very much.
No harm in mentioning this. Things are not too bad at all, and I think we should finish off the grand mannequin parade here at around about 4:30 as scheduled, without any problems whatsoever. AIB once again, of course, the sponsors of the competition.
We come away from the method of management and come back to the miniature garden and have a look at the finished gardens which the competitors did earlier this morning, having spent 2 hours creating a design such as this one. This in fact the Clondrohid miniature garden which Carmel Murphy did, and which in fact received second place. The display from the Grenagh club, which Dennis O'Brien did earlier this morning. In fact, obviously quite an amount of detail and quite a lot of preparation and work went into this. The garden created by the Avondhu chairman James O'Callaghan. Obviously a nice contrast in style from the two we have seen a little earlier. Obviously a lot of work went into this particular one. Here we see the display, the miniature garden display created by Dan Murphy from Clondrohid, and which received third prize overall in the competition. And obviously the end result shows the amount of effort that Dan put into it over the past number of weeks, and shows a nice example of a Victorian garden. Now our final garden in the miniature garden competition is that of the winner, Ladies Bridge, which Pauline McCarthy, their club representative, done this morning. Now I have Pauline here with me. First of all, Pauline, may I congratulate you on this excellent miniature garden. First of all, how long did you actually spend preparing for this competition?
2 to 3 days.
Only 2 to 3 days?
Yeah.
Right. And let's have a look at the garden. What do you think the judges were looking for, and why do they select your garden amongst the 5 others?
I don't really know. It's based on my garden at home. So I didn't have to think about what I was doing because I know my own garden so well. You know, and it's original, I suppose.
Because obviously the one thing to an amateur like me is that you have left it very, very simple, and there are no ponds, no lakes of any description. Obviously that would have been one of the things the judges were looking for. How long are you actually a member of Ladies Bridge Macra?
About 2 years.
And do you do a lot of gardening in your spare time?
Well, I have that garden to look after at home, which covers about 2.5 acres, so I have plenty to do.
And how do you think Ladies Bridge will do in the overall efficiency today?
Hopefully we'll win.
Well, the best of luck to your club members, and again, congratulations.
Thank you.
Only 2.5 minutes to go now for Northern Abbey in this method and management competition. Northern Abbey for Granada. And Granada, of course, are trying to emulate Northern Abbey. That's why we have Northern Abbey in mind. And as you well know, you've got to be back here in the centre of the ring, beside the kiosk here, if you are to avoid losing any marks for being over time. There's one member coming speeding back here, the all next year at the Olympic Games. But anyhow, this is not running. It's all about the farm task competition. I think Granada finished there in very good time. There might have been a few seconds over time. We won't comment any further on that because we know that they did a very fast job and a very fine job too. And maybe if they did lose a few seconds for being a few seconds over time, well, maybe they more than made up for it by a very skillful performance. That's the 3 lads there from Granada. The second last team to compete.
Okay, we're now here at the flower exhibit part of the Macra efficiency competitions, and we have the 5 competitors from the respective clubs, and the competitors are expected to make an exhibit in a basket, and the exhibit must not exceed, as you can see, not greater than 24 inches in width, and the team is Summer Bounty. So we start with the first competitor, come from the Carbery region, and we have Catherine White all the way from Clondrohid here with her first exhibit, putting some of the final touches. This competition started about at 2:30, and they have about 1 hour to complete the competition. So as you can see, the competition is in its final stages. Moving on from the Carbery region, we have Joan Roach. Joan comes from the Grinna branch, which is representing Shandoon here at this year's efficiency. That's Joan busily chopping off the waste buds, getting the flower right for and making sure it goes into its right little slot. That's Joan. You will notice that all competitors are wearing white coats here today. That's one of the rules in the competition. We'll move on from Joan to Elizabeth O'Sullivan, and Elizabeth comes all the way from North Cork from a club called Mournabbey. This is Mournabbey's second time competing at Cork Show in the past 2 or 3 years, and that's Joan with her exhibit, putting in the final carnation there into position. We'll go from North Cork down to East Cork, and we have Margaret Busang. Margaret competing with the Ladies Bridge team. That's Margaret with her floral arrangement inside in the basket. And last but by no means least of the team, the competitor Kay Hallisey, all the way from Clondrohid, and she's competing here at Cork Show representing the Musgrave region. That's Kay there, giving the final green gloss to some of the leaves. It can be these small little differences that could decide the winning and losing of this competition. The judge in today's competition is Mrs. Rose Breen, and she's a member of the National Flower Arranging Association of Ireland, and she's there at the moment chatting to Susan O'Keefe. Susan, who comes from Killavallen, she's the chief steward, and she's being assisted by Nuala Callagher as well. So as I said, they have an hour to do it and they're coming toward the finishing rounds of the competition.
So as we move indoors again to what I might say is a rather unusual competition, to see gentlemen doing cookery. Now Macra na Feirme this year organised a special gents cookery competition where the competitors are required to do two things. First of all, to decorate a flan. They can have the base prepared beforehand, and secondly to prepare an apple tart ready to bake. So perhaps if we can have a detailed look at what they are coming up with. First of all, we have Dan O'Riordan from Clondrohid, who, as we can see, has the flan filled and complete at this stage. Next to him we have the Clonakilty representative, Patrick Murphy, who is putting the finishing touches to his flan. Now on we go to the Grenada representative, Michael Holland, and Michael is as well putting the finishing touches to his flan, having already prepared his apple tart. Here we see the end result of the Morden Abbey product to that of Noel Cronin, the finished flan and the apple tart ready to bake. And finally in this section is the exhibit of the Ladies Bridge competitor Joe Bozang. Joe cleaning away after preparing his flan and preparing his apple tart ready to bake. So I'm sure that you'll agree with me that this is a most interesting departure for the gentlemen in Macra na Feirme, and we can see many a redundant housewife in the years to come. So it's back to the method and management as we see the last team, the Clonakilty team, completing their tasks. We see Donald Santry here in front of us, the Clonakilty man, reversing the New Holland and the silage trailer through the course, while his two colleagues, Tim Joe Collins and Sean Welton, are busy at other points in the arena doing the other method and management tasks. Now we are here watching Tim Joe Collins, the other Clonakilty competitor, having just completed putting on the loader onto the tractor, and of course, as we saw earlier today, the next task he will undertake is that of removing the bales from the trailer and building a pyramid with those same bales.
May we remind the Clonakilty team that you have only 10 minutes to go now. That 10 minutes are gone. That's the flash there coming from the timekeeper. 10 minutes are gone. Here is a result coming up, ladies and gentlemen. The result of the carpentry test. One that is going full belt there from 11:05 until 2:30, making a dog kennel, and it was around there for 2.5 hours or so.
Now we see Tim Joe Collins removing the first of the round bales from the trailer. The first bale, of course, which will be the base of his pyramid. A pyramid of 6 bales, and of course his task as well will be to put one of those bales into the calf trough. Clonakilty, who are the last of the teams competing here in today's method and management, are in the showgrounds for the 8th time in the club's history. The club, which was formed back in 1948.
With the exception of Mr. O'Leary.
Now here we see Sean Welton, the Clonakilty representative, adjusting the plough into a position suitable for ploughing.
Perhaps as spectacular as the one involving stacking the
A
bales
task which is
in a pyramid.
a little bit more difficult than one would think at first glance.
Now we're wondering if Tim Joe has a problem there, stacking the bales, because he's come back running up here. He was on board the tractor there, stacking those huge bales into a pyramid, and he's called Donald down to him below there. Only 2 bales stacked, and time is moving on. Don't forget that we have to have all 6 bales stacked one on top of the other there, and after all that they've got to be removed and replaced in their original position.
Now joining me here in the showgrounds is another of today's winners, the Clonakilty PRO Sheila Lane. Sheila, who scored a whopping 98 marks out of 100 in the dog care competition. First of all, Sheila, congratulations, and tell me, how much training did yourself and the fabulous black dog here have to do over the past number of weeks?
Thanks, Michael. Well, a lot of training. There's classes twice a week, and training then a 10-minute every morning at lunchtime and in the evening.
And tell me, first of all, is the dog your own?
Yeah, he's my own. Yeah. He's 5 years old.
Right, and are you interested in dogs as a hobby, or did this competition make you actually take an instant like to dogs? Or
I've always been interested in dogs. I have another couple of dogs at home.
And obviously, you being an expert on dogs, can you tell us what we should be doing to take better care of our dogs?
Oh, plenty of grooming, and I think the dog actually being reinforced a bit more.
So Sheila Lane, Clonakilty PRO, winner of the dog care competition. Thank you very much. Now, during the day, we have been mentioning about the problems that clubs can encounter in doing this method of management competition, and the Clonakilty team have had a number of problems in trying to get this loader to actually work, and it has given them
with the timekeeper, and so an important decision has to be taken. It's now the round down there, as you can see, the dog is in state conservation. The event one time this morning, and the weather crew is stacked up there, one over the other, and then all of a sudden the hot one toppled over, and the disaster for that particular place. The guy breaks the roof and all, and that's.
Now we see Tim Joe Collins, the Clonakilty competitor, back in action again after the mishap with the loader. He still has 3 more bales after this one to stack to complete his pyramid, and obviously the delay that he suffered a few minutes ago has created considerable delays for the team, with obviously only 30 minutes to complete the 6 tasks. So he now places the 4th bale on the pyramid. Obviously, skill and care are required from here on in, because one wrong move and the whole thing will collapse. Now we see Tim Joe placing the last of the bales on the pyramid, and this one could prove quite tricky, because one wrong jerk with the loader and the whole thing could collapse. So it's vital now that he reverses away from that pyramid. So yes, he's actually managed to get away from it, and he must now remove it, the top bale, from the pyramid and place it in the water trough, which is here to the left hand side of the pyramid. In fact, no, Tim Joe has decided that he will not place that particular round bale in the water trough, that in fact he will attempt to put them all back onto the trailer. Now the results of the flower arranging competition have just been announced, and beside me here I've got a rather elated Joan Roach from the Shandoon Club, Grinna. Joan has just been declared the winner in a competition which was very, very close. First of all, Joan, congratulations, and how much preparation did you have to undergo to do this magnificent exhibit here in front of us?
Well, a lot of hard work. I got a lot of help from quite a number of people, and it was all due to them, really. I didn't know. I had a little knowledge about flower arranging before we got through to the show, and I got a lot of help since then, and I'm glad that I was able to put it all into action today.
And do you think that you will take up flower arranging in future after today's magnificent performance?
Well, I love flowers, so I think I'll keep it on, yeah.
And obviously your result now means that Grinna are well on the way to possibly capturing the efficiency title. Have you anything to say on that?
I don't know, I haven't met anybody since I've been here, so I don't know. I believe we've had a second, and that the lads are doing quite well in the management, so we're hopeful.
Well, certainly your performance will be one of the ones to cherish in the future, and again, congratulations.
Thank you, Michael.
Now I'm back indoors in the tent, and in front of me is the Cookery exhibit of the man standing beside me here, Patrick Murphy from Clondrohid. First of all, I'll say congratulations to Patrick, and I'll let him tell you exactly what he had to do.
Well, just had to start and prepare the apple tart, firstly the pastry, and then to put in the apples, sugar, or whatever, and to decorate a flan base. The base could have been made beforehand, and just decorate the base. What I've done is put roasted almonds around the edge, and digestive biscuits mixed with cream as a base for the strawberries, and just 2 rings of cream around, and that's about it. And as you can see, an apple on top of the apple tart.
Surely, Patrick, when you heard a few months back that Macra and Ferma were organising a competition which involved gents cookery, you must have said, "Oh no!" Were you a reluctant participant, or did you jump to the opportunity?
I won't say I jumped to the opportunity. I wasn't reluctant either as such, but it was one competition I would like to have competed in Cork Show, and it was one competition that I could easily find time to do, whereas other competitions I wouldn't have had the time to train or to practice at it, whereas this competition you could practice at night anytime, and it suited that way, and it was also interesting in working with it.
Do you think it's important for the modern man to be well versed in the traits of cookery and whatnot?
I suppose it's handy. I might be able to make an apple tart now and again, but not for a while. I think I'll give it a break for the moment.
Well, certainly your performance here today means that whatever lady takes your fancy in the future, she'll have a rather easy life. Again, congratulations and the best wishes to your club for the rest of the day.
I'm Jan for this one.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, we're ready for the final of the make and model section, the modelling part. Okay, and if I could call Catherine Kelleher from Clondrohid branch first. Catherine is wearing a sky blue skirt made of self-patterned cotton. Over this she wears a floral patterned loose-fitting blouse with short sleeves. To complement this outfit, Catherine has chosen a deep loose-fitting belt and fashionable white shoes and white earrings. Thank you, Catherine. Next we call Frances O'Sullivan from Ladies Bridge branch. Frances is modelling a light casual outfit perfect for the show in a striking cotton material. The jacket has extended shoulders and a notched collar. It has 2 patch pockets and it looks well worn over this light two-piece. The blouse in a delicate patterned blue, giving a striking effect with the skirt. It has padded shoulders which give a definite line to the garment with half sleeves. The skirt in a matching material has 4 pleats, which is its main feature. The accessories give the overall look with the white bag and shoes. They finish off this outfit perfectly. The cost of the outfit is $25.69. Thank you, Francis. Now, if we could have Julie O'Mahony from Mournabbey branch representing Avondhu. Julie is wearing a multicoloured lined dress above ankle length. The dress has extended padded shoulders with a dropped waist and white belt and buttoned to the back. To complement the outfit, Julie has made a white loose-fitted linen jacket with patch pockets. She wears gold jewellery and accessories in her hair. Thank you, Julie. Now we have Breda Holland from Granagh Macra na Ferma. Breda has chosen for her casual outfit a very versatile skirt and jacket and contrasting blouse. The white jacket, made up in a creased cotton, has a notched collar, long set-in sleeves with shoulder pads. The matching white skirt, also of creased cotton, has unpressed pleats to the back. It has a button opening to the left in contrasting green and a side seam pocket. To contrast this, she has chosen a green blouse with a self-bice-bound neckline. Has front tucks, button clothing to the back and extended shoulders. To complement this outfit, she has accessorized with matching green belt and shoes. Thank you, Breda. Now from Clonakilty Macra we have Teresa Duggan. Teresa is wearing a smart navy and white outfit. The navy pinafore has a pleated wrap-over skirt at above ankle length. The top, with the extended padded shoulders, is pleated into inset waistband, features centre-back pleat and front welt pockets with flaps. This is worn over a white crepe de chine loose-fitting blouse with collar and single-layer lapels and elbow-length sleeves. Teresa complements this outfit with white casual shoes and a white cotton cap. Thank you, Teresa. Now, if we could have all 5 girls up again for a walk. Clondrohid, Ladies Bridge, Mournabbey, Granagh and Clonakilty. Now, if you could give them all a hearty round of applause.
Until the last moment. Now, will all 10 members of each team please assemble in the caravan right away? There won't be room for all 10, 50 people in the caravan, but just outside the caravan there, because you're going to be told the details of this obstacle race.
Chuck, one, then you're away! Yes, out the goal. There the goal. Maybe Bridge in the lead, I think so. Maybe Bridge in the lead, and of course, Mournabbey in the centre doing change over now. And back they come. Maybe Bridge and Mournabbey, I think it is. I think it will look like Mournabbey coming home. It's Mournabbey and Ladies Bridge. Mournabbey and Ladies Bridge, I think. Yes, indeed. Mournabbey are the winners. Granagh are the winners. Right? Here's the team coming in.
Right, the method and management results have just been announced. The method and management, which is of course the premier task here at the efficiency finals. Clonakilty have just been declared the winners, and I'm joined now by the 3 members of the team, Tim Joe Collins, Sean Welton and Donald Santry. Tim Joe Collins, first of all, congratulations, and I'm sure that Clonakilty must be thrilled to bits to win this.
Yeah, indeed it is a great achievement. It's something that I've been trying for. It's my second occasion competing here, and I'm only too happy to be declared a winner here today.
Sean, how much effort and preparation did the team undergo over the past number of weeks?
Well, with the last fortnight we've been at it nearly every night, constant, but now and again we've worked on our own, and so we've put in the effort, but it's been worth it.
Sean, Donal, obviously if you're involved in farming full time, it gives you a great help in doing these competitions today. I noticed that in the method of management, at one stage the Clonakilty team were under tremendous pressure in the sense that some of the machines and etc. didn't work for them or work for you as you would have liked. You were cool, calm and collective. How would you attribute that to?
Practice has a lot to do with it, I think. Like, we had our job to do and we went out and we did it, and we all went well accordingly anyway.
So again, Clonakilty, congratulations, and the best of luck with the final results of the overall competition will be announced in a minute, and the best of luck to you. Now, obviously this hour of the evening the results are coming in thick and fast, and another result has just been announced, and that's the make and model, and the winners of the 1987 make and model competition are Morden Abbey, and beside me here I have Julie O'Mahony, the club PRO, who was the Morden Abbey representative on the make and model. First of all, Julie, congratulations, and secondly, how much effort went into making this fabulous outfit you have?
Oh, a fair bit of effort went into it, alright. It was all lined, and both the jacket and the dress, and I had to kind of start at scratch, but I managed it.
Have you taken part in similar competitions before?
No, it was my first competition of that sort ever.
Are you fashion conscious?
A little bit, but I'll never be seen on a ramp again, ever. Why? I was a bit nervous.
And how do you expect that your club will do overall today?
I say they'll do relatively okay. I'd say that everybody put a good lot of work into it, and we enjoyed the day anyway.
And anyway, you're happy because you've won the make and model. Again, congratulations and thank you very much.
They may have won the rolling of the bales, but they didn't win the...
Right, well, the results of the 1987 efficiency final have just been announced, and the happy group that you see here in front of us are the Carbery representatives, Clonakilty, who have defeated the clubs from the 4 other regions in the county today in the 1987 AIB sponsored efficiency final. It's Clonakilty's 8th time being in the final, and it's their second time winning the competition. Now I think it's appropriate that we have a word with the chairman of the winning club, Jerry Duggan. First of all, Jerry, congratulations. How are you feeling?
Thank you very much, Michael. Very tired, but very excited. The adrenaline is flowing fairly hard, but we're delighted really with our success here today.
Are the club surprised at their victory?
Well, each and every team member has put an awful lot of work into it over the past number of weeks, and even if we didn't win here today, we have something to show for participation in the competitions. And winning is an extra bonus, but it's tremendous, the feeling in the club really. It's tremendous. There's a great feeling of unity amongst us at the moment.
And what do you attribute today's victory to?
I would put it down to hard work by the team members. Also, I'd like to pay tribute to the team manager, Donal McCarthy. He did an awful lot of work for us. And also an awful lot of people who mightn't be seen here, namely the coaches. Each and every person has had some coach, and I think there's great credit due to them also for actually training them in the individual competitions that they were concerned with. And I'd like to express my appreciation to the coaches also for that.
Well, of course, the big prize is £1,000. What is the club going to do with the 1,000?
Indeed. I think the norm is that it's used to finance a tour abroad, so I'm sure we'll probably go along the same lines this year anyway, you know.
Well, of course, you certainly deserve a holiday after today's fantastic victory. So, Jerry Duggan, Chairman of Clonakilty Macra, thank you very much and the best of luck.
Thank you.
Well, finally, as things are concluded here at the Cork Showgrounds, I'm joined by 2 of the top officials in Macra na Feirme. On my right is Padraig Welch, who is the new president of the organisation and who is on his first official visit to Cork. And on my left is Richard Hinchin, the county president here in Cork, and also the Munster vice president. First of all, if I can turn to Padraig Welch. Padraig, first of all, welcome to Cork. And what was your impression of today's efficiency final?
Thanks very much for the welcome, Michael. There's no doubt that there was a hive of activity around the arena today, and it was great to see so many people getting a taste of some of the better points of Macra competitions, where people learn skills or crafts that will stand to them at some day in the future, even though the competitors mightn't be aware of that today. It was probably a burden on some of them, or a hard task for some of them to prepare for today's task, but I'm sure that they'll look back in years to come and say that only for the efficiency in Cork show they might never have been able to do that particular task.
Padraig, you've just taken over what will be a 2-year term as president of the organisation, at a time really when the organisation is going through a period of great change. What would you say would be your major role or your major wish over the next 2 years?
I'd like to see a very vibrant organisation throughout the country, but there's one thing in particular, that one area in particular, and that is the number of young farmers in the organisation has dropped, I think, over the past number of years, and I'd like to see that increased. And as I said earlier when I was talking to Peter Murphy, I don't want anybody to get the wrong impression from that. There's nothing wrong with having non-farming people in Macra. They're very welcome and they add greatly to the organisation. But the unfortunate point about it is that many of the young farmers that are not in Macra are not involved in any organisation, and I think it's essential that we as an organisation can do something for those people, and we must do our best to recruit them and get them involved in the organisation.
The allegation has been made, Padraig, that people are coming into the organisation at a very young age and leaving within a very, very short time, having achieved very little. What message would you give to clubs who are trying to recruit new members at the moment as to how they can keep or hang on to people for longer than what seems to be the term at the moment?
Well, I haven't any golden solution to a problem which has, as you say, become very apparent throughout the country. But I do honestly think that if there are young farmers in every community, and if young farmers are got into the organisation, they tend to stay longer in the organisation. This has been proved over the years. You get the young farmer in, he tends to stay longer and is, shall we say, roots for the club to keep it going, and I think every member in the organisation can benefit as a result of that. There's a tendency for people to move on, their job moves, or maybe they're unemployed and they have to leave the area. There's 101 reasons why people leave the organisation so quickly, but I think if we can attract a young farmer and do something for them, and everybody in the organisation will benefit as a result.
Richard Hinchin, if I can turn to you for a few minutes. First of all, what's your impression of today's county efficiency final?
Thank you, Michael. I must say, first of all, I'm very impressed by today's efficiency. We have a number of firsts. Today is the first time that the show has been on a Sunday. Therefore, it's the first time that the Macra efficiency has been on a Sunday. Being the Eucharistic procession, we have been blessed with fine weather, and I'm glad to see that the rain has held up for the few hours. And I would like to take this opportunity to congratulate all of the competitors, because after all, today's efficiency without shop windows gives us an opportunity of bridging the gap that can exist between urban and rural, and by and all, a very enjoyable day was had by everybody who attended today's 1987 summer show in Cork.
What would you say are the main benefits to be derived from the likes of the competitions that were held here today, which obviously are a major drawing card, judging by the number of spectators who were around this particular arena today?
I think first of all, take it from the point of view of the competitors. It gives them an opportunity of showing some of the skills that they already have and improve upon them. Maybe for some of the competitors here today, it was their first opportunity competing at this level, so they had to do an awful lot of groundwork to produce the high standards that they did here today. So it gave them an opportunity of acquiring new skills, whether it be in the dog care, in cooking. We had an excellent cooking competition, so we are domesticating a lot of some of our male members in the organisation. So these are just some of the skills that were required by the competitors here today.
Now, turning away to things in general, over the past 4 days, Macra Firma has had a big involvement in the organisation of Cork Show in general. Are you first of all satisfied with the way the things have been organised, and maybe perhaps what changes for next year would you like to see?
Yes. First of all, this is our second year that Macra have participated in stewarding of the gates in conjunction with the Munster Agricultural Show. An excellent job was done by all of the Macra stewards. Our new major attraction at the 1987 summer show was the food village, and this the food and beverage exhibition, and this has been a major crowd puller in the past 4 days. I think in reality, looking at the show, I think we'll have to seriously look at bringing it back to maybe 3 days. It was by accident. It happened as a 4-day show with the church holiday. I think next year we will be looking at it closely, bring it back to maybe 3 days and bulk it more.
So I think generally the message from the day is success all round, success in the show and success in the efficiency finals where Clondrohid were declared the winners. From us all here at the showgrounds, a very good night.
Closest to the ramp below we've got Tony McCarthy, in the middle we've got Edward Beechner, and third we've got Gerard Cummins. Now these three lads